Happy Lunar New Year. It's the year of the flaming horse. Or is it fire horse? I do not know. But happy lunar year anyway, everyone. Then of course, if you've had a bad January and want to have a fresh one, then you can indeed. And so it's basically like a new year today. Let go silver, says Knowlesy, and Tory with a lovely wave. But which well, is there anything other than a lovely wave? Potentially, if you've got a big wave coming towards you on the seaside. However, luckily for me, I'm not allowed on the seaside anymore because usually Greenpeace tries to roll me back into the ocean. We are waiting for another three drivers, which gives me an opportunity to go from the drivers and the constructors. And as I ran out of time last night, didn't I? Goodness gracious me! And we have to do it on the formation that well. At the moment, then we do have McLaren driver at the top of the standings. It is KD who's leading the championship there, 9 points in front of Tory in second position. Third is Potstuff, 14 points adrift. A great recovery from Potstuff last week, so that could be crucial. in the outcome of the Drivers' Championship. Mammoth, 19 points already separates third and fourth, and Vessier is currently best of the rest in fourth position with Reflections in fifth. Camera Racer in sixth position on 41 points, 38 for Jinner. Riley on 35, along with Knowlesley, 22 for Smithy Almighty. That completes the top 10, along with Hungry Styles. Let me go down on my spreadsheet. Kiki on 20 points, 17 points for Dynamo Dan, 14 for Debo Croc, who makes his 10th Grand Prix start in silver tonight. Happy 10th. Mumford, they're not racing again tonight, only on 7 points there. That's going to hamstring the McLaren team, unfortunately. 1 point for Farf, 1 point for the Real Fig. Nigel, Sloth, and Chlorine Pilot have not scored in the championship thus far. In the Constructors' Championship, then, it is the Haas team that are leading the way, 11 points in front of the Alpine team in second position there. McLaren have only got one driver eligible for Constructors' points tonight then, so it's all down to the championship leader, KD, to get them to keep McLaren in the hunt then. They're 17 points adrift already though. Then again, a mammoth gap from the top three and the rest of the championship. Goodness gracious me, it's a two-tier championship at the moment, isn't it? Goodness gracious me. It's like a bit of world endurance, isn't it? Fourth position, the Aston Martin team on 55 points, along with the Racing Ball also on 55. Ferrari on 49 points there, 41 for the Williams team. Mercedes on 37. 23 for the Kick Sauber, and the Red Bull Racing team currently on 17 points at the moment. Two reserve drivers in here tonight, and well, they're not really reserve drivers at all, to be honest, are they? They're full-time drivers from the Bronze Championship, which is stepping up and helping out the Silver Championship tonight, because for some reason all the reserve drivers are busy, aren't they? Okay, fair enough. Anyway, yes, we're waiting for a couple more drivers, and then we'll get going. Evening to Jinner. Hello to you, my good sir, and Lost Souls also give me a wave as well. Keep your waves coming in, ladies and gentlemen. I absolutely love it. So we are here in Austria tonight. Then we was actually looking at going reverse around Australia. Austria. Sadly, though, Farf did realise that, and then is put it the right way around. I would love to have had a reverse race around Austria, because it would have really thrown a curveball in, wouldn't it, tonight? Even though I would say that Austria is probably a difficult circuit, really, isn't it? Yeah, there's only 10 turns around this circuit, but it's all about track limits. But having said that, track limits last night was not a big problem, which was quite impressive. The biggest problem was the pit lane speed limit, wasn't it? Goodness me, we had 3 drivers that they got 10-second penalties for going into the pit lane a bit too hot, unfortunately, for those drivers there, which is a bit depressing, and that really hurt the likes of Immortal, for example. But Immortal still finished 6th or 7th in the race last night, which was pretty impressive indeed. It was a one-stopper that won the race, for the first 2 drivers anyway. But I must say then that Julian there very much made a good fist of things there. Only 2 seconds away in the end, but it looked like the one-stop is the quicker strategy. Whether that remains to be the case here tonight is certainly going to be very much on the drivers' minds tonight. And of course, because we are so high in the Styrian Mountains, Styrian Mountains, we are expecting variety of weather then, so it can change on a dime, can it, around Austria? Of course, I can't really remember any really wet Austrian Grand Prix. So I can remember a lot of wet qualifying Austrian Grand Prix, but not many wet Austrian Grand Prix. Hang on a minute. I don't think have we ever had a wet Austrian Grand Prix? I'm trying to think now. Of course, Austria did return back on the calendar in '97, and of course it was the old Österreich ring, which, goodness me, that was a scary old circuit, wasn't it? And then it was off the calendar for a bit. Then it returned in 1997, which was more of my era of Formula One, and a very unique race that was. Of course, unfortunately for McLaren fans, Hakkinen retired after just 1 lap, which was basically the standard thing for the Mercedes engine back in '97 now, unfortunately. But of course, that was more of the pre-setup going into '98 as when McLaren Mercedes became the constructors and the drivers champions there. But yeah, '97 was a weird one because we had a tire war, didn't we, in '97 there, where we had the Bridgestone tires and the Goodyear tires. Of course, that was the second to last year before Goodyear did pull out of Formula One after being tire suppliers at F1 for such a long period of time. I don't even know when their debut debut year was in for Goodyear. But I know that last year was in '98 as far as up to this date anyway. But yeah, it was of course the Bridgestone tires that were much more better in the hot conditions, wasn't it? That allowed the likes of Jarno Trulli, who have only just been promoted to the Prost team after Olivier Panis smashed his legs up in Canada, unfortunately. And I think the Trulli was leading before his engine blew up as well. I love unreliability, and I'm kind of hoping that we bring back a bit of unreliability in this 2026 season coming up in just a jiffy. But yeah, I think Trulli retired, Hakkinen retired as well. I think that Villeneuve went on to win the race around Austria. Michael Schumacher had a bit of a difficult race, if I remember. And then we also had the two stewards as well. I think Jan Magnussen, of course, that the father of Kevin Magnussen. Goodness me, I'm showing my age now, and doing a good job as well. Both stewards were looking pretty formidable as well back in that day. But I do admit I do like the old tire war back in yesteryear of F1. Don't think it'll work in today's era, though. Don't say this, says Jenner. What have I said? Oh gosh, oh dear, what have I done? Was I on about the 2 and 1 song potentially, or was I on about the very very? Hello to Mad Max as well. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the love heart emojis. I'll keep that coming in as well. Hopefully, keep my second place streak alive today. So is at Tory. And whilst I talk about yesteryear in F1, let's take a look at Tory's second place streak. That he's currently so far in the 6 rounds so far. Tory has had 4 second places, and he has never had a Grand Prix win though this season, as he Tory has it. So I think that I don't put the commentator's curse on it, but I think that Tory is going to be a shoe-in for the Grand Prix win potentially tonight. The rain, says Jenna, the rain. We learned last night that Jenna does like a low downforce setup, doesn't he? I say we learned, but let's be honest. But when you watch the Grand Prix back, Jenna's top end speed is usually it usually used to be like when the Willies back in the 2016 season, where the Williams team used to be at top speed then. So yeah, I think the Jenna's always usually more often than not the quickest in terms of a straight line. There, Mad Max in the session, good stuff indeed. Then I think we're starting to find a driver on EA or something like that, aren't we? Which is a bit unfortunate. Yeah, but luckily for me, I can just continue on talking about history in Formula One. Of course, where was we? 97, absolutely. Yes, 97, a bit of an odd one. I'm trying to. In the modern era of this Austrian circuit, I don't think you've had a wet race around here, which I'm absolutely beside myself if that is real. I'm really trying to think if we've had a wet race around here, and it's really annoying me now. We've had some wet qualifying sessions. We had the 98 qualifying. Ah, yes, we've got Fahad in the session as well, and in the Red Bull, good stuff. Indeed, then, so I think we're fully ready to go. But we had a wet qualifying session in 98. Giancarlo Fisichella got his first pole position of his career when he was driving the Benetton Playlife, which is a very odd engine, isn't it? But of course, the Playlife was a rebadged Renault engine after Renault pulled out in 1997. Goodness me, more things change, the more they stay the same, isn't it? Look at Renault and Honda over the years. They always seem to pull out, don't they, of Grand Prix racing? But there you go. But yeah, Fisichella got pole position. But I think Hakkinen went on to win that race. 99. I can't remember the qualifying session in '99. Did it rain in '99? I do not know, to be honest. But in the race, of course, Coulthard hit Hakkinen, and he spun them. He spun his teammate who was fighting for the championship there. Civil war in the McLaren team, goodness me. And Eddie Irvine went on to win his second Grand Prix of his career. In 2000, I don't think it rained in 2000. It was quite hot again, and I'm sure that Schumacher went out in the first quarter when Zonta hit him. Goodness me. We have a lot of first quarter incidents and first half incidents around Austria, don't we? Golly gosh. Then 2001, Montoya and Schumacher had a bit of fisticuffs, didn't they? In the turn 3. 2002, of course, we had the infamous let Schumacher pass for the championship. No, that was 2001. 2002, I think, is when Barrichello let Schumacher through at the last corner, which is absolutely shocking stuff indeed. Then, disgraceful behaviour. Of course, that was when team orders was banned then for about 8 years, wasn't it? Before realising the FIA realising that they can't really police that, can they? Unfortunately, which is disappointing indeed. 2003, can't remember 2003 to be honest. For some reason, I'm thinking about Williams. I wonder if Williams might have got a front row lockout. And then, of course, F1 then disappeared off the Austrian, of the A1 circuit before it became Red Bull, didn't it? The Red Bull circuit in 2014 there, or the Red Bull ring. And of course, we had a Williams 1-2 in qualifying session where I think Felipe Massa took his final pole position of his Formula One career, his illustrious Formula One career as well, which is fantastic, wasn't it? I can't remember 2015, to be honest. 2016, Hamilton and Rosberg came together. Basically, I don't think you've had a wet Austrian Grand Prix, which I'm actually astounded that it's only just, I've only just realised that. So there we go. Goodness gracious me. Well, we might have an but in the ALR times. We've had a lot of Austrian wet races, haven't we? We always seem to get a wet Austrian Grand Prix, especially towards the end of the season. Of course, the first two races around here in Gold Season 1 and Gold Season 2. Then, of course, it cost Knowlesy a Grand Prix win here. And, of course, it also cost Dan Murphy, one of the founding fathers of ALR, second position. And that happened twice in 2 seasons. It was a carbon copy of 2018 and Formula 1 2018 and Formula 1 2019 at this circuit. It was absolutely redonkulous as we're about to get ready for the start of the qualifying session. We've also got Super Sub in for Ferrari tonight as well. Do I update my spreadsheet now, or should I update it later? Chlorine Pilot not racing. Chlorine Pilot has actually not finished the race since Australia. It's been a horrific start for the second Ferrari driver. Unfortunately, I've also got Sloth, who's not in here tonight either, who also hasn't scored points there. So it looks like the couple of drivers that who haven't scored points so far this season have decided not to have a go here tonight, unfortunately. Right, who's the first driver out on circuit then? I gotta say it's no great surprise. Of course, Jenna Lusby out on circuit straight from the get-go as we go up into turn number 3. I would say this is the closest qualifying session of the season, but last night it was a 0.2 of a second buffer between Villiasen. It is Villiasen, as I got an absolute pleasure of talking to him last night in the comms box there after the race there. Villiasen getting his third pole position in a row and going on to win his first Grand Prix of his career as well in ALR Gold. Superb stuff indeed there for Villiasen. So Ferrari very much on tip-top form in gold, and potentially they should have had a first and a fourth at the very least, but unfortunately Percy had an issue on the final lap there and didn't, I think, finish 6th in the end, or 7th or something like that. I do not do the standings until Friday night when I'm going to watch the rerun of Formula E, because that's how I roll. Good luck, Silver, says Hammer Times. Good evening to Stars as well. I've got some questions for you guys in the comments at the moment. In the comments, I apologise. In the comics section. Then, have we ever had a wet Austrian Grand Prix? I've gone from 97 all the way up to, well, I would say all the way up to 2017 or 2018. And then I can't remember the Austrian Grand Prix after that, because I must admit, since I've turned 30, my memory's been absolutely appalling. But I don't think we've had any wet races between 2018 and 2025. But have we had any wet races in Austria between 97 and 2025? I don't think we have we? I know we had a wet race in Austria around the old Österreich ring. Oh gosh, but I don't know when that was. Of course, we had a horrific day in 1 year in Austria, didn't we? Where, of course, I think there was 3 or 4 restarts there, and unfortunately, we also had an incident with one of the team personnel on the grid and getting hit. I think it was behind Ricardo Patrese car. I think, I'm not sure if he was driving for Brabham back then, maybe, but of course that's why there's a rule about personnel being off the grid then before the 15-second mark. And it's all about safety, which is paramount in Grand Prix racing. Across the line there goes Jenner, and he's done a 4-2 as set us on our journey going into turn 1 there. Fantastic. Yeah, so I am expecting a close fought qualifying session here tonight, but as I was saying then, Villiers last night, and the gap was about 0.2 of a second, wasn't it? I think he was in the O2s at the end, which is absolutely ridiculous. That's a 62-second lap then. Camera Racing then, of course, it is home Grand Prix tonight for Camera Racing then, so a lot of the Austrian fans are going to be flying the flags, flying the blue flags, flying the red and white flags there, of course, with Camaro's helmet colours there. Very much are going to be very happy to see Camera Racer flying the flag for Austria, which is good stuff indeed. Then Camera Racer in the same mold as Gerhard Berger then, of course. and maybe even the likes of Alexander Wirtz as well. Wirtz Mania, absolutely, of course. Wirtz, Wirtz, is it Wirtz or Wirtz? I always say Wirtz, so I'm going to say Wirtz. But Alexander Wirtz, of course, is a part of the part of the GDPA, isn't he? Which, alongside George Russell, does absolutely cracking job indeed. Then does Wirtz. Of course, I think one of the best F1 testers of all time now. Wirtz is along with Pedro Dalla Rosa. So two absolutely splendid test drives, along with that guy who just messaged me as well. Bug off. Right then, evening, a have-free mushroom day. Any pancakes stuck on the roof? Oh yes, it's also pancake day as well. Thank you very much for it, Ashton. I hope you've all had your pancakes. Farf may have had too many pancakes because he's gone over track limits now. I wonder if that must have been because of his rear posterior pointed outside the track limits. Love the Golf livery of Liam here. Liam then driving the Haas normally, so he'll be very happy to have a go at the Golf liveried Williams car, which I personally think they should have this livery all the time, shouldn't they? I'm not really a fan. I'm like Knowlesy, to be honest. I'm not really a fan of the new Williams livery on the 2026 cars, but I do say that I do like most of the liveries on the new 2026 cars. They're so much more colourful. That rule that's coming about cars need to be 60% need to have 60% covered in paint or whatever. It's really definitely made a good step forward there. And of course, it's all about the liveries. According to me, that's the most important part. I'm very much a material girl living in the material world. The real thing has gone into 8th edition, and for the Sauber team, of course. Sauber, this is the closest Grand Prix to Sauber's home in Switzerland. Potentially, I failed geography. Actually, I failed. I got a C in geography. So, but maybe I got a C for something else. So maybe I was just a teacher's pet potentially. But yeah, so this could be Austria. Could be Sauber's home Grand Prix before they become the Audi Works team next season. Then, which is really cool to see. The livery is not the most beautiful in the world, is it? But it's great to have Audi on a Formula 1 grid. It really is indeed. Then, and very much I'm excited about that. I'm also very excited to have Cadillac on the grid as well for next season as well. Of course, ALR will be expanding the grid to 22 next season if Codemasters realises they got to add an extra 2 slots or an extra slot then. And of course, because at the moment then, if you do have 22 cars in the lobby, you wouldn't be able to get a host and a commentator in. So that's a bit of a worry. But hopefully Codemasters will fall about that. I'm sure they would have. KD, the championship leader, has gone 5th fastest at the moment now in that McLaren Mercedes. Of course, no regular teammates tonight from KD. How's that going to transpire? Well, I wouldn't say that's too critical there, as Favre goes into 10th position at the moment. There's that Favre. Dynamo Dan is currently up into 10th position now. Riley, who left the session, has come back in. Riley hasn't scored, I don't think, since his Grand Prix win in the second round of the race earlier on this season. So Riley needs to get some points on the board then. And making his debut tonight is Farhadi, then coming out of turn number 3, I believe. Let me lean forward then. Just finished my pancakes, as Sarah's mentioned there. I haven't had any pancakes yet. Of course, which is unfortunate, but I will be having some tomorrow because, yes, someone forgot to bring the pancake in today at work, which is absolutely shocking stuff. The Tory going very wide there, and I don't know how, but his time is still on the board there. I thought that would have been out of bounds there, but I think the FIA's maybe just looked away then at the wrong time potentially. Did you get any mushrooms stuck on the floor then, on the room that says Real Ashton there? Jim's got to start on softs, and one stop, it's the law then. Lay off of, oh goodness me, lay off of the drugs, absolutely. But then again, then of course, should I? No, let's not go down there because let's be honest about it, I've already. Tory at 44.8 then in the second intermediate split time. Of course, as we mentioned, Tory's had 4 second positions so far in the opening 6 Grand Prix this season. He would like to get a Grand Prix win this season. And look at that rain cloud just above us. Oh, that's out of bounds for Tory Camaro in this home Grand Prix on pole position. I'm sure that Camara's got 6 pole positions already, but Tory has invalidated his time. And look at that, because he did it in the final corner of the final 2 laps there. And is there rain on the horizon? Because look at the top there. Look at that rain cloud. That is a very angry rain cloud indeed. And there could be a sprinkle of the wet stuff, and it could really hamper some drivers out there. Currently, Cameron's on pole position. Key, who has had a very difficult start this season. A great start in Australia, but since then, Key has kind of been a bit behind the 8 ball, unfortunately, for the Aston Martin driver. Let's go on board with him now. 44, 4 in the second intermediate split time. Then there's a McLaren in front of us. No, it's not. It's a complete wrong colour. It's a Red Bull. Goodness gracious me, Sean. Sort yourself out. Into turn 9. Now into turn 10 as well then. Is that Red Bull going to cause all kinds of dirty air? I think it is. And Kiki is going to be absolutely furious, but he's still on pole position there by 900ths of a second, just under a tenth of a second there from Kiki. How many pole positions Kiki had? I do not know, because I have not got the spreadsheet up at the moment, as I am now kneeling back on my settee, whilst I think that I am royalty or something. Reflections up into third then. Pot Stuff. Now, Pot Stuff had a good recovery drive last time out in Spain. Where was he last week? I do not know. As Vester's gone up into a superb 6th position now. KD currently down 7th and won the championship leader. Of course, this is going to be crucial in the outcome of this championship. I feel then, because it's only round 7, but as I was mentioning last night in the interviews, that actually round 7 we're coming up to half distance in the championship now. Then of course a very shortened season in ALR in the second season, and of course it's become a bit traditional, hasn't it? We had 16 rounds in the second season of F1 2024. This season we've got one more. We've got 17, because I think 16 feels too short. Then I think 17's much better personally, even though I did grow up with watching 16 rounds in a season, but there we go. And I do think that anything over 20 is probably far too much. But then again, I've got a short attention span potentially. Maybe sprint races are the best way to go. 103 Camaro's ages, says Sirius Mushroom. Just like his time as well. But of course, Camaro from the golden age, that is, the goodness me. Here comes KD. That's a much better second split time there for the McLaren Mercedes. Of course, with the Max Verstappen crash helmet there, skid lid there for KD. Then flicking it into 9. Now flicking it into 10 as well. Is he in bounds? Perfect. Oh, is he? Oh, he's got away with that. I didn't think he was going to get with that. Third fastest out. He's still in the 4th for KD, but that is much better for the championship leader, who is on a rich run of form at the moment. I got a sore throat coming. Oh, no, that's not good. Smithy has gone 600 a second up in the second intermediate split time. Donovan Dunn has had enough, and he's into the pit lane now. 6 minutes, so let's go in this qualifying session over the brow of the hill once again. I love that shot then, because you can very much see the under part of the car then, or just about then. Of course, this is the last time we're going to have the ground effect cars around this circuit. Across the line for Smithy. Does not improve. He actually loses time in the final segment for Smithy. Was he a bit too cautious in those final 2 corners there? And I cannot blame Smithy, because he is my second favourite admin after myself. Into the 4/10 of a second there, and then into the final turn as well. Of course, you can't blame Smithy, can you? Because out of turn 9 and 10, it is raining! Devo Croc has gone 17 faster, and it is raining out there. I had to pause because we got rain on the circuit. It is very hot out there. We haven't got a accurate track temperature out there. Then where is the thermometer then? Oh, and hopefully it's on the circuit and nowhere else there. But then again, of course, I grew up in the forest, and they did put thermometers in both ends. Tory is a 45.1 in the second sector. That's okay, but I do feel that he's not going to be the top end of the grid though with that time there. And I'm wondering if Tory then, because of his first lap was invalidated. Look at that then. That is a lot of understeer. The raindrops as we got a teleportation car then out of the final turn there. There's a lot of time that he left on the table there. That's only 15 for the man who's second in the World Championship. Goodness gracious me. Farfus started his lap as well. Devo Croc is 5 seconds down, but that's okay. Ruthless Venom also out to the top end of the circuit then. Track abuse from KD then. Sirius Pressure has reported KD. Shocking stuff indeed, but of course that's because Sirius Pressure is a Ferrari man through and through. I wouldn't have it any other way either. You can see a lot of drivers are retiring then, because we've got a lot of drivers then who are currently then with rain falling. I don't think drivers are going to expect to improve that. Then the track has got very wet very quickly. Goodness gracious me, almost as wet as what I am at the moment now. In terms of perspiration, goodness me, gentlemen, and everyone else in the comments. Pot Stuff and second sector, I don't think he's pushing, is he? He's not pushing the Haas to the limit. Kiki currently on pole position. Then. Is that going to be Kiki's first pole position of the season? Let me get me old book of spells up here. I think it is going to be Kiki's first pole position of his season then, which is very good stuff indeed. Then pot stuff coming into the pits now. As the rain caught drivers out, I think it's caught Tori out, but I don't think it's caught Tori out by Tori relax in the pit lane. I think it was more down to the fact is that Tori made a mistake on the opening lap, and the second lap there he left too much on the table. Easy for me to say, left too much on the table, and because of that, he has cost himself down in 15th position. There is DRS change as well, 3 DRS zones around this circuit, so that could be crucial. Tory stuff then. A little water, they quit. Shocking stuff, absolutely. I think, but then again, it's far out there. I was going to say drips don't get wet. Goodness me. Right, into the pit. This is why I don't race in silver, you see. Not because I'm slow and I can't even get on the pit lane properly, but because Farf would always give me penalties. I'm still upset because he gave me a license point in Spain a few years ago, when I was very ill. Which I must say, which I probably should get over, but you know, I'm one of those people that just holds a grudge. 8th pole position of his career for Kiki as we're on board with him as the Aston Martin mechanics are getting wet, whilst Kiki is sat in his car, loving life there, and very good stuff indeed. And that's Kiki's first pole position of his season. That is his 8th pole position of his career as well for Kiki. Very good stuff indeed there. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to announce this actually, but this is Kiki's last season for potentially for the foreseeable future. Of course, as he's got a very excitement announcement to make, but I'm not going to do it because that is wrong of me. Whilst I'm looking at my spreadsheet there, of course, that's Kiki's 8th pole position of his career. Fantastic stuff indeed. Good luck, Silver then, says Halsey then, as good stuff indeed, of course, Halsey. And by the way, you would have noticed that the connections are so much better, or they certainly was last night, and they have been the week before as well. And the reason why that is because Halsey's a genius, and Halsey and Olsey have both found a way. The reason why that there might have been so many iffy connections stuff like that, because there's so many notifications and stuff like that, which I'm very disappointed by. How dare you not clear your notifications there? I've got OCD, you see, and I always have to clear my notifications because it really upsets me. Having said that, I didn't clear my notifications when you go into the garage and you got all these kinds of dismantling to do and all that kind of stuff. I wish I knew what I was doing there, but I really don't. All I know is I got a very handsome team principal, but I don't know if he's any good or not. There we go. To be honest, I think that handsome man might be Knowlesy as my team principal. Which also reminds us, well, I really wish ALR would pursue the having teams of teams with their own team principals and stuff like that. The problem is, I don't think we get many committed drivers doing that, which is unfortunate. Good stuff indeed. So who's that in the comments there? Is Emerson there? Good luck, Silver there with a is that a dock leaf there? Oh, it's the clover. Fantastic there for Emerson. Of course, Emerson does have Irish background along with Brazilian background, or his brother's Brazilian anyway. I'm not sure if Emerson's Brazilian, but you never know. Clear that. Clear what? I need to turn these notifications off. I know one day I'm going to be in some major problems, and right, as the formation lap is going tonight, I am not going for the championship because, of course, I am much more on it tonight than I was last night. Albeit, the reason why I was a bit late last night actually is because I had my usual tea, and then guess what I found in the fridge? I found 2 pastas in there, or pasties in there, ham and cheese, and I absolutely destroyed that bad boy. And then I realised I need to get live, and so I was then trying to wolf it down, get myself indigestion, and then there we go. Then it was a snowball effect. It's a 4 cloverleaf bed. I definitely don't have Irish background, as says Emerson. Well, I'm disappointed about that. I thought you lived next to Ireland. I thought you lived on the British Riviera. Kiki, pole position, number 8 of his career, and in beautiful sunshine as well for Kiki, which is happy for the Aston Martin team there, as Kiki made his mechanics come out into the pit lane and wheel him back in there. Shocking stuff indeed for Kiki. Camera Racer would have been on pole position then for his home Grand Prix. Sadly, that's not the case for Camera Racer, but he'll have to get a Grand Prix win tonight for Camaro. Let's see how that transpires. The championship leader, KD, I think that was very much a recovery job. Well done there for KD. Up into 4th position. Reflection then, of course, the bronze champion up into 4th, and he's on the hard compound tyres. So we got a couple of drivers on hard tonight. So of course, last night we only had one driver. Jitter in 5th with Potstuff in 6th position. The Haas team going to work together with causes Potstuff. While it's feel that both Haas drivers are still in the championship fight, and so I think that's going to be difficult. Vestier in 7th, Riley in 8th position. Riley will be home to get some points. The Stars in 9th. David Tom for Fahad in a 10th position in the Red Bull, and the lovely white Red Bull as well. Knowlesy in 11th position there. 12th position is Smithy Almighty. Dynamo down in 13th. The Real Fig is in 14th. 15th is Tory. A horror show for the man who's second in the championship. Far in 16th position. 17th position is Liam there with the beautiful golf livery. And I don't mean golf as in Tony Hawk's? No, that's skateboarding. Debo Croc 18th, Ruthless Venom 19th, and Mad Max in 20th position on the grid there. Tiger Woods, that's who I'm on about. 2, 3, 4, 5. I've not got my stuff up. Lights out. Oh, and that's a terrible start for Camera Racer. I think he bobbed down in the second sector. I think his reactions was appalling. And KD's on the inside. Oh, and KD is ghosted through that. Oh, my goodness me. And KD is off the circuit. No, KD is through. And now we got more ghosting. Goodness gracious. Oh, my gosh. And into the wall. It goes through. And there's another car off as well. That's Smithy. It's a horror show of a start here in Austria. And oh my gosh, there, I think I've also pinched my unmentionables as well. But goodness me, that all came because of all the ghosting going on. Now, I don't think that's the driver's fault there. I think that's the complete game for that, is because you shouldn't be ghosting like that, in my opinion. As now we got Riley on the inside here of Kiki, who's dropped down into a 5th position there. Riley down into 6th now, and Kiki's on a terrible start. Camero leads, 2nd is KD. 3rd position is Jinner with Potstuff in 4th position there. As now Potstuff has passed Jinner. As oh goodness me, that's an almighty manoeuvre going into the far. Who's that scampering off the circuit? Tory's up 7th position. Goodness gracious me, he's stolen Favre's launch control, and so is Favre. Actually, he's up to 10th position as well. That one completely, the gap is half a second there. And Tory now has dropped back down to 8th position there. And then 9th is Knowlesy then. It's a horror show of a start here in where are we? I don't even know where we are, to be honest. We're in Austria then. As we come up to turn 3 once again, and oh goodness me, and KD is all over the gearbox. Of course, a 2-time Grand Prix winner is KD. In the last 3 races, he's been on the podium in every single Grand Prix, as well has KD. And can he keep up that record now? Into the pits of Reflections then, and Reflections having an early stop then. No safety car. Right, where was I? What was that? And it says, Halsey, absolutely. No, my goodness me, Knowlesy, what's happened? Knowlesy's out of the Grand Prix. That's unusual to see Knowlesy on the... And he's off right into the scenery. Knowlesy and Farfar both out of the race. And my goodness me, we got a safety car here. As if we got friendly fire in the admin department, I think we have. Has, oh, but that's it. That's the end of that one then. Well, whilst that's going on, then let's take a look then. Oh, Emerson. Hello. I live in the southwest, which is definitely not next to Ireland. You need to scrub up on your geography. How dare you, Emerson? I have got a C in geography, or D. Then again, I had a really pretty teacher. Right. Forgive him, Emerson. It doesn't take him much. This is Facts Much, although he has to come, and he has to come to my hometown twice to see it. He definitely knows. I was on the bus, but I don't actually know how I got there. It's probably because I was asleep, and also I was watching the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix qualifying, and then I watched the race on the way back as well. Yes. Cloaked device failure says serious measure. I gotta say this ghosting stuff is an absolute joke, personally, because not being funny or nothing. Firstly, I don't think ghosting should be on anyway, but that's just me. But also as well, is that you shouldn't be ghosting at that stage of racing anyway. These are meant to be the best racers in ALR, and really, it's just I don't know how you meant to combat when your competitor is ghosted and things like that. I think that the ghost on this game is shambolic, in my opinion. I somehow think that was Far's fault. Then says Emerson, absolutely, that's the most. That is the truest thing Emerson has said all season long. Alpine is dead for sure, says House. Then lobby restart. Restart says Serious Pressure. Restart says Nosey. As Porky Pig says, then that's all, folks. That's all, folks. I can't do it, sadly. Even though I do look like Porky Pig. Sadly, I don't sound like him. I must I sound more like Daffy Duck, to be honest. Will I be third or the original position? Says Potstuff. I think you'll be the original position, unfortunately, Potstuff. So that's unfortunate because I think it was red flag before. Was it red flag before the end of the first half or after? I do not know. All I remember is that Farf and Knowlesy took each other out. So I think that's a grid penalty for Knowlesy. To be honest, he should be at the back of the grid. Shocking stuff indeed. What on earth has happened then? Says Riley. I'm not even in the lobby. Goodness gracious me. Come on. Get some decorum here, good man. My word. Yeah. To be honest, that all happened because of the ghost and stuff. But we seen it in gold as well in Canada. It's I must admit, I didn't really notice it up until Canada, but it's getting a bit annoying, isn't it, with all the ghosts and stuff? Because how are the drivers meant to combat each other, knowing that your driver is ghosted? Because then you're going to cause a pile-up if you brake and try not to actually take an illegal advantage. But at the same time, I don't know. Right. Anyway, off me soapbox. What was that? Says Stars. Now for the biggest challenge of the year for Sean to yap about nothing until the lobby restarts. Actually, I want to know because no one's answered my question yet, and it's really annoying me. Has there been a wet Austrian Grand Prix between 97 and 2025? I know there's been wet qualifying sessions. Of course, we could have the 2020 Austria. Was it the Styrian Grand Prix? I keep saying Styria Grand Prix, or was it the Austrian Grand Prix 2020? I'm not sure. Then, of course, we had the 98 qualifying session. It was wet. And I'm sure we had another wet qualifying session as well. But I don't think we've ever had a wet Austrian Grand Prix in the modern layout of the Red Bull Ring, which I'm absolutely astounded by personally. And I must admit, I've only just realised that. Hopefully not from the start position, says Tory, as of course Tory then had a great run, didn't he? Of course, a terrible start qualifying for Tory, but now made his way up to 7th position, I believe. But 2 laps, says Potstuff. Oh, now this is going to get into a bit of a danger zone, isn't it? I wonder if it'll be the original start grid lineup, because normally that's what's happened in the past, but isn't by the rule of the book, isn't it at the end of the first? No, it's the end of the second lap, isn't it? Someone needs to fact check me on that one as well. Let me fact check that, Sean. Absolutely, Emerson. Get that Wikipedia out then. That's how I passed college. I was fuming when that happened then because I thought it was only me that got kicked out, says Riley. Don't worry, Riley. I think we all got kicked out. I blame Farf still. To be honest, Farf either brings a wet lobby or a chaos lobby, doesn't he? There's nothing in the middle for Farf. Ghosting's okay. It's when the car comes back solid that's the problem, says Halsey. Do you think that's what happened in that in terms of the chaos there? Because it was Reflections got absolutely punted off into Narnia, didn't he? I reckon that could be what Halsey's bang on the money on that then. Personally, I don't like ghosting at all because I'm quite old school. I've played F1 games since '95, and of course I wasn't no ghosting there. But then again, I was only racing against the AI, and when the AI used to bash you off the circuit, I used to then just cut the chicane and get back in front of them. I think that's frowned upon these days, though, isn't it? Just need to have a piece, said Rufus. Actually, this is good timing then. There was a wet sprint race in 2023, won by Max. But do we count sprint races though? Technically, no. So, unfortunately, that doesn't count then. Good to see you in the stream, Ever said. Well, sadly, Ilya said. On the same day as qualifying, sprint was in the wet in 2023. Yeah, so I don't count sprints as a race, though, personally. But then again, is that because I'm old? Probably because it is. I'm old, isn't it, really? But I forgot about that race. That was a pretty enthralling race as well. Wasn't it the race where Max Verstappen almost shoved Perez off the circuit then in turn 1? That was quite interesting, wasn't it? I think it was also the time where Hamilton got stuck behind one of the Haas cars. Was it Magnussen? Was it Hulkenberg? I do not know. Goodness gracious me. Yeah, I reckon car becomes solid and then it causes absolute chaos as Hauser then. That's a bit unfortunate as well. But luckily they get a second bite of the cherry then. And so do I, because I'm going to quickly get a drink then. Hang on, where's my squash? I'm going to drink the I've got Robinsons on the go tonight. Then I had this. I got this cheap stuff here. Tesco's orange, which apparently is 40% fruit from concentrate. I don't know. I've got the reading age of a 5-year-old, so let's just say that it's 50% or something. But I'm doing Robinsons tonight because I want to, of course, support Wimbledon and stuff. Now I'm back to 15, says Tory. That's such a shame there for Tory, isn't it? Because yeah, after that great start, he's got to do it all over again. A bit of the rewind there for Tory. Invite please, says Farhad. So hopefully I get back in the session there. Emerson has sent me a picture on Messenger, which I'm not going to open yet because of course I'll then break the stream. And excuse me in the background, that is not my rear tailpipe. I think that is someone else's rear tailpipe as well. But yeah, we're just waiting for the second Red Bull driver to get in, then we'll be back underway in just a jiffy. I was kind of hoping for an early night tonight. Then is I think I'm coming down with a bit of man flu. I must admit, in the last couple of years or so, I used to be really good with not catching anything, but all of a sudden, I'm getting ill almost every couple of months, which is absolutely shambolic. I'm absolutely devastated with myself. But look at it on your phone, says Emerson. How dare you? What? I cannot do two things at once. Goodness gracious me. To be honest, I'm actually watching the stream on my phone as well. Hang on a minute. What has Emerson sent me? Um. Oh. 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 Hang on. So Emerson has used AI, by the way. Shocking stuff indeed. I would have gone with Wikipedia. The Austrian 2023 sprint race on the 1st of July. The Saturday sprint race was run in wet conditions there, using intermediate tyres on a drying track there. The Styrian Grand Prix, of course, heavy rain hit in the qualifying session. The Austrian practice session, then heavy rain in the final practice session, and 98 qualifying as well. Historically, the Austrian Grand Prix has seen intense rain, notably 1975, which was stopped due to torrential rain. But modern resurfaced. Oh, I can't see the bottom bit. So Emerson, you're gonna have to send me the next part, unfortunately. Oh, there we go. Right, and I've also got to send him a meme as well. There we go. I got a meme of two men on the bobsleigh. Right here then. Let's get back going, shall we? A naked picture, says Stars. Sadly, I can't fit a naked picture on my 5-inch phone. I need a phablet, or maybe I need a proper tablet. Mainly because I'm quite girthy. Set up, set up, set up, says Serious Mushroom. He only said it once, but I'm saying it 3 times there. That's all you'll get it. To be honest, I'm absolutely dumbfounded that we haven't had a wet Grand Prix. All right, I'm going to state Grand Prix, not race, here in Austria, because we always seem to get a wet race around here, don't we? Then again, having said that, we did have a wet Abu Dhabi Grand Prix in the silver finale last season or the season before, and then we also had a wet Abu Dhabi Grand Prix when German won the championship as well. So goodness me. I got a driver draw at 8:30, says Halsey then. Ooh. Is that where you're doing the spin the wheel kind of thing? I do love a driver draw. I think that's the best part of the best part about the season, in my opinion. I reckon you should have a driver draw every week. Sadly, the admins disagree with me on that one, which I don't understand why. Shocking stuff indeed. So I'm gonna miss the end, unfortunately, says Halsey. Then don't worry about that, Halsey. I think the best part to watch the race is usually the beginning, and by the sounds of it, all the drivers are thinking about a one-stop strategy, which is such a shame because last night's race, I was really intrigued to have like one or two stops there. It really made an action-packed end to a superb Grand Prix. It really did indeed then. And I'm going to have to get my slippers on here because I'm getting a bit cold tootsies over here at the moment. Well, we've now got lovely sunshine again. The weather will be exactly the same then. So I think that Farfair is, I wonder if we'll get rain later on the race then, but it's absolutely beautiful sunshine at the moment there. Take a picture, then you don't have to. Then you don't have to draw them. Then 2 stop was better than 1 stop, says Emerson. I mean, I would believe you, Emerson, but I think you finished 18th of the race yesterday. He's spitting facts tonight, isn't he? Goodness gracious me. To be honest, I can't say much at all because I think the last race I raced on was Australia and bronze, and I was slower than a slow thing. Luckily, a lot of drivers had punctures towards the end of the race, which elevated me up to 13th, I think, or something like that. But apart from that, I was slower than the slow thing. I was like a snail, basically. I was like me trying to get out of bed in the morning, to be honest. Shut up, Sean. Yeah, to us, that is brutal, isn't it? Goodness me. Don't worry, Emerson. I'll be back on Farce Tale in just a jiffy. Of course, this stream is usually about Badford Farf, who's got on hard tyres, has Farf. Ruthless is on hard tyres as well, as is Farhad, and Reflections on hard tyres as well. Before we only had 3 drivers doing hards earlier on, but actually we got 4. And who's that just taking the lead then? Camera Racer has taken the lead of the formation lap. Do you remember in 1994, Michael Schumacher got a stop-go penalty and then a black flag for doing this in the formation lap, of course, where he overtook Hill twice on the formation lap there, and of course he did get slapped with a suspended race ban, didn't he? Unfortunately for Schumacher. Of course, that 94 season had everything. It had triumph, it had tragedy, it had spy scandals, it had all sorts of stuff. Not sure pad players can do it. One-stop tyre wear is very high then. Emerson, don't stand for that. That's bullying. I'm going to report him to the other admins. Do it. How do I mute the other admins? Could I kick the other admins out of this stream then, do you reckon? How do I know who's watching then? Well, to be honest, Farf will back me. I think that me and Farf get on like a house on fire. Even if he gave me a license point in Spain, which I'm still unhappy about. I think that was like 5 years ago now, but you know, I'm going to be on about that till I retire from whatever I'm doing at the moment. So then, this is take 2 of Austria. If you just joined us and wondering what in the blue hell is going on, I don't know either, to be honest, but we had an absolute horrific start last time out there, which I still blame Far for, but now we're going to be racing in Austria. This is take 2 of Austria. Now we've got 36 laps around the Austrian Grand Prix circuit, and 3, 4, 5 lights are on. And we are go once again. This is a much better start for Camaro. And Camaro could be alongside. He is alongside and he's taken the position. And once again, Kiki has lost pole position. But also Reflection is down the order as well. We got more contact. And it is one of the Mercedes, I think. This got off. It is Riley down at the back of the field. And the other Mercedes is also at the back as well. More contact again. And let's look at Kiki at the inside of Camaro Racer. But unfortunately, no dice there. As now Camaro leads the race. And now we got all kinds of anarchy at the back of the field as well as the real things drop down the order. And then we got Camaro leads and KD up the inside, locking up contact between the pole sitter and KD. The championship leader is up into 2nd position there. Jenner up into 3rd there. Reflection dropping down into 4th position at the moment there. And Nosey up 2 positions. Tori up 5. And Tori's done a rewind there. Mad Max up 5 position as well. Good stuff indeed then, as Farforce at 3 position, but it's Camera Racer who has started this race absolutely splendidly well as we come over the brow of the hill then, and coming out to complete lap 1 of this Grand Prix. Camaro leads 2nd position as Kiki, oh, he's off the circuit down on one of his a half spin out of turn number 9 that was, and that's a horror show. And Kiki, the pole sitter, is all the way down in 7th position. Who's out in the pits? That's Riley into the pits as well. So unfortunately for Riley, after getting through the first start and escape just about, then this second start has been a horror show for the Mercedes team, as one in 17th position, the other one is down in 20th at the moment. And Kiki is all the way down in 7th position for Kiki. Not ideal at all, as Hungry Stars has got past Nolsey, and now we have got the other Alpine of Tori now to 9th position. Now Tori is flying through, and DRS is available on the 2nd lap here. Of course, one of the newer rules in Grand Prix racing these days, but Tori is now up to 9th position. Now good start indeed for Tori, wants to keep up his podium record of 4 pole positions in the opening podiums in the opening 6 races here. Stiles is now dropped down to 9th position because Tori is flying through the field like a hot knife through butter here. He is absolutely scintillating the track then, if that's the name of it anyway, or that's the wording. Oh, goodness me. And once again, then coming up, KD is now very much in DRS rate of Camera Racer then, as Camera Racer is now punching a big old hole in the air, isn't he, for the McLaren driver, and Jenner is not too far back. Tori is now past Kiki, as Kiki is just dropping like a stone here, isn't it? And of course Kiki is on the medium tyres there. Reflections on the hard tyres out of the top 10, and Reflections has done a good job to keep in 4th position, but KD is very much then all over the gearbox, the Williams driver. And KD, also known to his championship rivals, Potstop down in 6th position, Tori down in 7th position, and of course they are close in the championship at this moment in time. A long way to go in this World Championship still, but I think that it is not looking too shabby at all. Lovely shot from the nose cone here of the Haas car of Jenner, as Jenner then is just looking in front of us, and look at the dirty air there, a car off the back of the McLaren and the Williams just in front of us there, but Jenner doing a good job at the moment there. And I'm wondering then, I was talking about maybe having some Maybe we could talk about maybe having some team orders then. But then, of course, we did dismiss it at the end of qualifying because Gina is still in the championship, albeit the gap is starting to get bigger and bigger. But we ain't even a half distance yet. There's a long way to go still in this championship. Everyone is in DRS range up until Liam, who's in 14th position and who's 2 seconds back. And we got Debo Croc, who's going to get past Liam. And indeed he has. Was KD is all of the back of Camaro and it's taken the lead on lap 4 in this Grand Prix. But we have seen how difficult it is to get out of DRS range on this circuit, and Camera Racers had a great run out of turn 3. He's going this way and that way. He's all over the gearbox of the McLaren, and he's going to breeze back through, and he is back through and back into the lead of this race. Then is Camera Racer. Of course, Camera Racer is going to be spurred on by the home crowd here tonight. Of course, Camera Racer is home Grand Prix here in Austria, and of course, and he is very much he's got the same hero status as Gerhard Berger and Alex Foots, as well as Patrick Friesacker as well. Incredible stuff, man. Over the brow of the hill once again. Then Favre's launch control works backwards now. I think Favre did get up a couple of positions there, but he has dropped down. I wonder if he's had an adventure out there somewhere, or maybe he's just pulling in reverse out of the final turn. And Camera Racer is still leading this race, then, but he did lose the lead on that last lap. But it'd be interesting to see how this one goes. Remember about Jenner that we always talk about Jenner's top end speed then, or it's certainly become a major topic of conversation, especially in last night's stream then. So this could become a contentious part or a major factor in the outcome of this Grand Prix. Ooh. And now out of turn 3 we come then. Camera Racer, who is this time has kept the lead then. But look at this then, because Katie didn't get past, they have now started to concertina up then. And Reflections on the hard tyres is doing a very good job actually. Of course, the alternative strategy last night didn't really work, as the two rivals in the World Championship have now swapped positions. And Tori is up to 6th position with Potstuff jumped down to 7th position. Tori is driving through the field absolutely incredibly well. It's like a man possessed out there. It's Tori second in the championship. What a recovery drive after a horror show in qualifying. Made a meal of his opening run, and then of course the second run was marred by I think there was too much on the table, and then of course it rained at the final stage of qualifying. But Tori is now into a superb 6th position after 6 laps. Goodness gracious me, incredible stuff indeed. Jenner loses pace as the race goes on, says Sarah Rush. Then let's see how this one transpires. But Jenner then, as you can see there, Jenner is now under the cosh here of the Ferrari driver of Reflections that it's going to have a look. No, I think he's too far back at this stage. Gap at the front is still very much status quo at the moment, as Tori's got past Vessier, now in the 5th position. He's flying through the field. What a maneuver! Oh, well, I didn't even see it, but an absolutely spectacular. Tori is up into 5th position. That's absolutely outstanding stuff indeed for Tori. Farfus got past Debo Croc and now to 15th position. Debo Croc starting a 10th Grand Prix of his silver career. Since Debo Croc has become a full-time driver in silver, he has really struggled as Debo Croc then. So I wonder if that Mercedes is just not suiting Debo Croc's characteristics in driving at that machine now, unfortunately. And Reflections on the outside, and a great manoeuvre there for Reflections there. And I think the Jenner's coming in the pits. That's why Potstuff's got a 3-second penalty. And my goodness gracious me, I looked back and I was like, what's going on there? But Jenner's in the pits after only 6 laps. What is he doing? As Mad Max also in the pits as well. So what are they going to do? Are they going to go onto the medium, onto the hard tyres? Yes, Jenner's on the hard tyres. What about Mad Max? Mad Max also on the hard tyres as well. Are they going to get to the end on those hard tyres? I don't think so. Potstuff all over the gearbox, or Vessier up the inside as the pink machine, and has to yield the position for now, as now up into 5th position goes Potstuff, but here comes Vessier. They both have DRS, so that is going to help Potstuff retain that position in 5th position then, as I love the nose cone shots. That is now Smithy Almighty is currently bringing up the rear of that gaggle of cars. Potstuff is out of DRS and so the top 4, which includes Tori. That's incredible indeed then for Tori, who is up into 4th position. What a drive from Tori. He wants that drive today, doesn't he? Incredible stuff indeed there for Tori then, as we go over the brow of the hill. Camaro, KD, Reflections, and now we got Tori as well, and they come very close. Look at that. That's where we're going to get a lot of track limits at this one. Tori peed into the cup, please. Goodness me. He did what in his cup? A quote from the famous Mater. Now, Reflection is, I reckon that the harder tires are actually looking the better race tire at the moment. Smithy Almighty getting past Farhad. This is Farhad's debut race in the Red Bull. He is the, apart from Reflection, he's the only other driver on the hard tires in the top 11. Farf is in 13th position at the moment. Back at the front then, and they're all starting to concertina up once again then, as I think Camera Racer is currently controlling the pace out there. So Camera Racer then, I don't think he wants to fly too far off into the distance there. Or is this the pace? Is this the pinnacle of pace though from the Williams driver? I do not know, to be honest, as Dynamo Dan has got past Debo Croc up into 14th position there. So then we have got Gino, who's got a 3-second buffer to himself with Liam then. So now he can really set some fast laps, as has Mad Max and Riley. Unfortunately, that first up escapade there, of course, unfortunately, we didn't get a restart for Riley, which he's going to be feeling a bit hard done by, I think, Riley is after a pretty decent start in the last one. As into the pits, Knowles had enough then, so he's in the pits as well then, after just 8 laps, and goodness me, then these are very early pit stops out there tonight, or well, probably about the same time as the gold race, actually, to be honest. But yeah, there you go. But we are a bit later on than what we was last night. Look at this, and my goodness gracious me, they're all starting to queue up behind camera. Looking at the inside tire, looking at the tires, and Mad Max is at the fastest out for the race. And Knowlesy is coming out of the pits. Is he in front of Mad Max? No, he's behind Mad Max there. Knowles is going to be out, slotting out quite close to the back of Mad Max, actually. So Knowlesy probably would rather have been a bit further back or a bit further up the road, because then he could have really get some qualifying laps. And Ruthless is past Debo Croc and made his way up to 14th position. And Debo Croc on the medium tires and really struggling out there. Debo Croc is again, and I feel that it is down to the Mercedes car. It's just not suited his characteristics, is it, unfortunately, for Debo Croc? Because when he was a reserve from Debo Croc, he showed some speed in gold, silver, and bronze then. And of course, he got a 4th position earlier on in bronze and in a silver. And I'm sure that that was in the kick Sauber as well. So that Mercedes car is just not just not a happy car at the moment for Debo Croc, unfortunately. But I think the Mercedes are very happy to have a second driver racing now. Coming a Camera Racer, who is now going to probably be once again feeling the pressure, but I feel that again though he is probably I think that he's actually quite happy with how this race is going at the moment for Camera Racer, because as we got Farhad now produced 7th position, getting past Smithy, who's dropped down to 8th position. The hard tires are the preferred race tire, I think, now then on lap 10 then. And here comes Reflections. He's going to have a look then. I think he has a sniff at it, but KD there, I think, kind of just covering the inside line very subtly there for KD. And I think that just undeterred Reflection. Ever so sorry, look at Tory up the inside. And I think that not getting past KD on the run down to turn 4 has opened the door for Tory, and I think that KD is going to be taking a second look at that. Is that a Mirage behind him? No, that's Tory, who has come from 15th on the grid up into 3rd position. That's absolutely a stonking start. Into the pits comes Camera Racer, and now this is allowed then the front runners then of KD and Tory to lead first and second, with Reflections in 3rd position, Pot Stuff in 4th position. Now the top 3 in the championship are the top 4 in the race, and the top 4 in the championship, I think, something like that, is also the top 4 in the race as well, give or take. And here's Tory on lap 11. And KD locking up the inside tyre there. And I'm wondering if Tory locked up as well. I was going to say on lap 11 then. I'm going from 15th on the grid to lead this race. This has been one of the most incredible starts I've seen in a silver race. And through he goes, a Reflections also up the inside as well. He has done it, has he? Where there it is. And KD going from 1st to 3rd in one straight. And my goodness me, Tory takes the lead as Potstuff also on a look on the inside of the championship leader as well. Tory takes the lead after just 11 laps from 15th on the grid. That is absolutely redonkulous from Tory. He certainly had the pace, didn't he? Well, I'm not sure if he had the 1 lap pace, but that is an incredible start to this race. KD coming into the pits then. So KD is had enough and he's going for the undercut here. And he's in the pits now. There's a lot of DRS zones around here, so overtaking should be easier. But of course, you also got to be wary about the DRS train, where of course, where there's a gaggle of cars here, all got DRS and is neutralizing their race performance. 2 seconds the gap is between first and third. Vessier is now on the gearbox of a pot step at the moment in fourth position. Farhad, a great debut so far in fifth position. Ruthless Venom getting a 3-second penalty. Farf in sixth position there. 7th is Jinner. Jinner is the highest runner who has come into the pits there with Mad Max in 8th, Knowlesy 9th, Cameron 10th, with Ruthless in 11th position, Kiki in 12th, Stars in 13th, KD is all the way down into 14th position there, hanging it out for a couple more laps more than his rivals around, and then this may pay dividends or this may be a problem later on this one. And Smithfield Mighty not too far away from KDU. That shows us how powerful the undercut is around here. My goodness gracious me, that's incredible, isn't it? Cameron needs to clear people quick then, and Cameron currently in 10th position, right on the gearbox of Knowlesy, and he is very close to the back of Knowlesy, but he can't make that move stick, and he will have DRS down the start-finish straight, and that should help him get through Knowlesy then. But let's see that, because Knowlesy is not pitted. Kiki, who's just overtaken Ruthless and up into 11th position as well. I think that this race is very much turned into an absolute doozy of a race, isn't it? Incredible stuff indeed. I have absolutely no idea how this one's going to transpire. KD's got past Styles and moved us up to 14th, up to 30th position, and Styles has got past, and Smithy's got past Styles as well. So Styles, I think, is wrong-footed somewhere and has lost 2 positions in quick succession, unfortunately. And on the back of Farf now is Jinner. Jinner has DRS then, and here comes Jinner. He's going to have a go down into. No, Farf defends the racing line, so Jinner's going to swoop on the outside. He does on the inside, say he does. It is past the 3-time Grand Prix winner, and now up into 6th position there. We've also got what's happened as Ruthless Venom has lost that 3 position. There, Katie's gone wide, and through goes Smithfield Mighty, but Smithy's had a terrible run, and Smithy had a terrible run there, and of course gone the way of the Kick Sauber driver there. And goodness gracious me, and I think that was lucky for KD, because Smithfield Mighty tried to get on the power, and I think that his car just didn't respond at all well to getting on the power there. And that is, and of course KD just about keeping in front of Smith, and of course that is crucial, because I think every part of this race, every overtake is going to be critical, as that's a critical race, a critical overtake. Reflections takes the lead of the Austrian Grand Prix. Alex has pitted for some serious Russia. He's in 8th position. Did I say something different? Probably. Shocking. Tori has now lost the lead then and is down in 2nd position. But even so, and of course, he's the highest runner on the medium tyres. And the drivers on the medium tyres still is Mad Max. And my goodness me, and Camaro swapping position. Mad Max came in the pits earlier on in this race. And look at this. And now here comes Camaro. Then, of course, Camaro in his home Grand Prix. Mad Max in the Super Sub with the Ferrari on the outside there for Mad Max. But he's got no answer to Camaro, and up into 9th position there. Camaro's next target is Knowlesy, who pitted 2 laps earlier than him. Farf has not pitted, who is trying to hang it out then for as long as possible. Same with Farhad, and the same with Reflect as well. Reflections is actually a 2nd at the road. And just as I say that, Tori in the pits, for Potstuff in the pits as well. Farhad in the pits, and what has happened? What has happened there? And oh, that's into the wall, and I think that's a safety car, because the Reflect Ressier has somehow gone into the wall at the exit of turn 10, and how has that happened? I do not know, but this safety car has, that's a humongous shunt now. I would like to know what's happened there, but goodness gracious me, as the Reflect Vessier, who's going to be one of the big players in this race, is out of the Grand Prix, and this safety car is going to hamstring all of the drivers on the hard tyres, who started on the hard tyres. Looking at Farfin 7, it's like wondering at an elephant at the top of the tree. Just got to wonder how it got there. To be honest, I say the same about me and basically in the aspects of life, to be honest. I don't know how I've got to this stage of my life, but goodness gracious me, I'm more luck than judgment. Go on, Potstuff, says Connor. Absolutely, but where is Potstuff in 1? He's in 8th position. Well, he does have a 3-second penalty. I'd like to know what happened to Vessier. Did Vessier try to come into the pits? No, because that doesn't make sense at all. Did Vessier take too much speed out of the final turn and just go off the circuit? What is Reflections going to do? I think this is hurt Reflections and anyone else who started on the hard tyres, but into the pits comes the race leader now for Reflections, and I think this is now doomed into a 2-stop surely in this one. The tree is led down then, says Hauser then. You've also got, well, that's messed some plans up, says Sir Mushroom, and this is one man whose strategy's been messed up, and it comes into the pits now, and here comes Jenna Knowlesy in the pits as well. So safety car at this stage, and in fact some spectacular incidents so far in this event now. Of course, this is our second restart of the night, after the chaos in the opening stage there. So this has really helped Tori, hasn't it? Tori, who had a horror show qualifying, is now leading the race on one lap out hard tyres. Reflection will have the medium tyres as Ruthless Venom's going to be kicking himself on a cheap penalty there. Potstuff in fourth position, Kiki in fifth position. KD has dropped down into sixth. He's got some overtaking to do. Farhad in seventh position with Smithy eighth. Styles in ninth. Jinner is now gone for a second stint on these hard tyres. So Jinner then is going to have to do some overtaking as well. Knowlesy on the hard tyres. Farf has gone medium. And then we got to the real thing. Dynamo down. Mad Max in 15th finish now. He's just pitted. Ruthless Venom. Riley then. Riley might be happy with this safety car because it might bring him back into the race then. Only one retirement, which is Vester, who had a humongous bang wallop in the outside wall of turn 10 there. And my goodness gracious me, it'd be interesting to know how he got there, but that looked quite nasty indeed. We didn't see it on stream, but I think that Vester might surely be shaken after that quite horrific shunt then, because that is no small shunt around the exit of turn 10. I'm just taking a look then to see if there's any comments so far, but no far. So far then there hasn't been any mention then. So we'll keep it on that to see how that happened and how that transpired. But out of the race there is Vesser. That's our first retirement of this Grand Prix so far. We're coming up to half distance then. Half distance on the medium tyres there. Ooh, if the safety car comes in at the end of this lap, maybe the end of the next lap. That is 19 odd laps on the medium tyres. I don't think the medium tyres are going to get to the end, you know. I think that this reflection is going to need another stop, surely, as Tori there just getting closer to his crowd out there, isn't there? Driving very out wide there. He's going to pick up some rubbish on those tyres there. But Tori is probably in cloud 9 at the moment after qualifying down in 15th position, but he's now up into second position. Incredible stuff indeed. Right, got to go. Love to you all then, says Howsey. Good luck with the driver draw, my good sir. Tori, Knowlesy and Jin are going to be top 3. Chazza, hello there. General Chazza, you are a bold one. As General Grievous said in Star Wars Revenge of the Sith, which actually came out in 2005, which makes it feel very old indeed, because it came out on my birthday, I think. I'm sure, was I 16, 17? I don't know. I probably 16 actually, because it's my last year of secondary school. I think, or something like that. So say the car be and it's like Devo Croc then on fresh-ish medium tyres. So anyone on the medium tyres, I feel is going to have to stop again. Anyone who's on the hard tyres has done I've seen last night that the hard tyres can go quite a long way into this Grand Prix, so I think that anyone on the medium tyres should be able to get to the end. Anyone who is on the anyone on the hard tyres should get to the end. Doesn't matter about the wear, I feel. So Kiki and Stars are the drivers with the most lappage on those hard tyres, and I think they're going to get to the end. But I think the medium runners are going to have to pit again. So Reflections is going to have to, as soon as that safety car comes in, he's going to have to go out and go when that safety car comes in. I was born 5 years after that came out, says Kazza. Goodness gracious me. And I thought you'd been working on that construction site for a good 50 years, Chazza. Incredible stuff indeed there. Gosh, that makes me feel so old. That makes me feel very sad indeed. Goodness me. Hang on. So that makes... Hang on. I've got real bad maths now. 1 second. Goodness me. So Chazza is only like 22. No. What year are we in? I don't know. Oh, my word. I think the mediums can do it. Can do like 16 laps at the most, but they'll be awful after like 8, says Emerson. Then, so Emerson then putting in, of course, a good word after his experience that he found last night in Austria as well. Then, of course, love a bit of tire talk, don't we? We can never tire about tire talk. Safety cars in this lap, and I'm not going to be tired about that either. As hang on a minute. Right, I gotta get myself sorted there. I'm in my action stance now because this is gonna get absolute incredible indeed. Reflection is going to have to really be very much like Roadrunner, and it's easy for me to say, Roadrunner, and of course our big Tory is going to be Coyote, the Coyote there with his usual, did he have like Acme, like kind of like, what's it, yeah, like Dynamite and stuff like that, but of course this is not Mario Kart, even though I reckon we should get the theme song for Mario Kart when they start. Reflection is going to go then, so Reflection will have the tire advantage for the first couple of laps, but as Emerson said, after 7 or 8 laps, and they're going to be very much throwing the bin, and not going to pass an MOT test, but we're back racing once again, and I think everyone on the medium tires will be hoping for another safety car, because I feel that they're going to be very much bogged down at the end of this one, unfortunately. Oh, here we go, Sean with Master. And sadly, it's because I haven't got my spreadsheet out either. Shocking stuff indeed there. I am 19, Sean, 20 in July. I'm helping hand for you, sir, says Chazza. Thank you very much. Goodness me. I'd love to be 20 again. I still feel 20. I'm as young as I feel. So I feel about 50 at the moment. I mean, that's because I feel I've got a spot of man flu coming. Jinner is now up into 9th position now. Back in front of Styles is down to 10th. Jinner's got about the same life of time. No, see, and Farf are going side by side. And Farf is through using those medium tires to absolute perfection. And up into 11th position they go then. It's admin and admin action now. I love it. Yellow flag somewhere. What's happened? I think it's just a bug in the game then. It's not a bug, it's a feature, I hear you say. Oh, the Brother Hill once again. Whoa, that one up. It says serious measure. Oh, gosh. Goodness me. Charles, if I could learn to talk, that would be absolutely superb. I've been on this planet for 36 odd years. I still don't know how to does anyone remember that Only Fools and Horses episode there where it was Tony, wasn't it, who couldn't pronounce his R's? I can't pronounce my W's. Out of turn 1 then. Ruthless Venom's got a 3-second penalty as Farf, his next target is Jinner then. And Jinner is not going to let Farf through, is he? About not going to let him through. He's not going to wave him by, is he? Absolutely not. Why I say that, but Jinner and Smithy Almighty is one minute then. Smithy Almighty there. Of course, again, his elbow's out then on the Jinner then. So Jinner's going to swap on the inside into the inside of turn 4. He's done it. He is through and up into 6th position. 8th position. Sean, I can't count either. He's up into 8th position now, is Jinner. Farhad on his debut just up in front of us. So just take a look. Reflections is about 0.6 of a second in front of Tory. I think the Tory is very much like Mark Webber today, back in the 2009 German Grand Prix. Mark Webber then went on a 2-stop strategy, but also got a drive-through penalty for a bit of banging wheels with Rubens Barrichello on the opening lap of that race, and still came from that drive-through penalty deficit to win that race. It was his first Grand Prix win of his career, and is Tory going to do something similar here in the Austrian Grand Prix? He is certainly feeling it, isn't he? From 15th on the grid up into 2nd position now. Not quite though. Potstuff is through. His Camera Racer's lost out. Potstuff back up into 3rd position, but I was going to say Camera Racer does not have any penalties, but he does now. I think it's when he got out right there. As Farf is now past Smithfield Mighty up into 9th position is Farf. I think Farf be doing a bit of rain dancing or maybe a bit of safety car dancing to see if that safety car come out again there for Farf. So I do feel that safety car is going to really help him. I feel about 60 of all the bricks being laid then, says Chazza. Snifflegate is back, absolutely. As, of course, at least one of us does a bit of hard stay grafting there. I can't say the same for me on Mushroom. As, goodness me, I think we just, we just sit and enjoy ourselves, don't we? But, of course, then there's the real men out in the world of likes of Chazza that very much hard grafting in this horrific weather, as it's rained every single day of the year. So far this year, even though I don't think it's rained today here in the old Gloucestershire area. Then again, it might have rained this morning. Actually, it didn't rain this morning. That was just me sweating, and it just was just dripping off my brow. No yellow flags out there, by the way. It's just a very deceiving. Ooh, Reflections locking up then. I think, as Emerson said, then those medium tires are starting to feel past their best. Then Jinner going up the inside, then trying to overtake the Davids on there. As the two kick Salvers. Oh no, the real thing's off the circuit. As my word, there, of course, Montoya and Schumacher. Oh my goodness me, it's Riley going this way and that way. As Nolte and the Smithfield Manchester swap positions for Riley on the outside, and that's Styles, and that's contact between Mad Max and Styles, and Styles is through. Smithfield Mighty has lost out to Nosey. Nosey's back into the top 10, and Nosey's got half the tyre life as Smithfield Mighty. Mad Max, I don't think he's going to be too impressed with Hungry Stars there. I didn't see it, but it looks a bit robust from both drivers out there. Fantastic indeed. And of course, I do love a bit of robustness. Hard but fair race it is there. Jinner then, who would like to get past the debutante here. As Cameron's in the pits after only 11 laps on the hard tyres for Cameron. KD is now all over the gearbox of Key. Gap at the front is still 4/10 of a second. Tori has got this, very much does need to force the issue, and he doesn't force the issue, or does he? No, he doesn't. He's off the inside into turn 3, track position, and he has done it. Key, 4th position. KD, no! Oh my goodness gracious me! As Key, there's too many K's in my life. Jenner then came back on circuit. Sorry, Key came back on circuit and absolutely wiped out Jenner. Was that a dangerous re-entry from Key, or was that Jenner? Was that Jenner that should have given Key space then? I'm not going to say my opinion on it, because my opinion is usually wrong, which is why I'm not allowed in the stewards room anymore. I'm basically like Michael Massey over there. So that's unfortunate, unfortunately for Jinner. Jinner hit the barrier, but I'm not sure if he's got damage or not in the Haas car. It didn't look like it. But let's take a look now. It doesn't look like it, but I think that Jinner is going to be a very unhappy man in that cockpit now, unfortunately. As into the pits comes Stars as well after 13 laps then. So I may be overestimating these hard tyres here, because I thought that the hard tyres would get to the end no problem at all. But actually, we got pit stoppers. Stars in the pits as well. Camera was in the pits last lap. Oh, I got a real bad sore throat coming. Oh my word! Don't you feel like as Knowlesy and Farfar renewing hostilities? Goodness gracious me! Knowles is through number to 7th position there. Farf dropping down to 8th, and he's got Jinner behind him as well. I got that horrible feeling there where I don't think I got a sore throat properly just yet, but I've got that lingering feeling, like in the back of your throat, where you know that a sore throat is coming then for tomorrow, which I probably should have bought a big old bucket of KFC then to celebrate my final day of enjoying food without having to swallow funny. I might have to get smoked cow put out, I think, at the end of this race. Out of the final turn then, Tori, who is leading the race, got the has got the perfect tyres. I was going to say the prime tyre, but of course prime tyres is not. Do they still exist in F1? Sore throat from all those. Oh goodness me! Absolutely disgraceful behaviour, Emerson. Of course, that is only on the Saturdays and Friday nights. Watching Reflections at the moment at the top of the hill of turn 3. Reflection is doing a good job here, isn't he? Though, keeping very much within the DRS of Touring. I think Reflection is driving absolutely splendidly well. I think that it's between him and I haven't got my second laptop up. That means the driver day ain't going to be done. As we got Jinner who is through. Oh my word! As Farf and Jinner and Farf and then who is that? That's one of the Ferraris of Mad Max diving on the inside of Smithy. My goodness gracious me. I almost read it out. I did indeed. I almost did. Oh gosh. And I've got to say that would have been my P45 very much coming from the post from the stewards at the end of this one. To be honest, I always expect the P45 after every stream. Normally, because I always say something which is probably something I probably shouldn't say. As I think the list of banned words is getting longer and longer after every stream I do. Tori still leads the race, and second is Reflections with Pot Stuff in third position. Smithy is in the pits now. Knowlesy is chasing after the debutante of Farhad. He's doing a great job up there, and it's my personal driver of the day. I can't find my second laptop. I don't know where I'll put it. So if anyone, by the way, instead then put your driver of the day votes in the comment section, and then I'll ignore them and choose my own. Up into the hairpin of turn 3. Mad Max all over the back of Farfu. I think that the medium runners are doing a great job there of keeping those tyres in the operating window there, and I got to say Reflections doing an absolutely superb job indeed. A yellow flag then, but I think that is that yellow flag I think is an anomaly up there, a bit like me to be honest. Tori leads this race, and second position is Reflections for 10 laps to go in this Grand Prix. I hope we're getting paid overtime here, because goodness gracious me, like this time last night I was in the interviews and wetting me. Oh, and just like saying that, into the pits comes Reflections now. So Tori leads this race, and Pot Stuff in second position. Reflections, and I think he's going to go for another new set of boots here, and probably going to go for the medium tire. Yes, he is there, and it's I got to say I'm very proud of that, because goodness me, I'm so good at calling strategy, and oh my goodness me. Sean, can you say rough twice quickly for me? Rough, rough. Oh no. I obviously knew that. I'm just pretending. Mad Max is past Farford up into 7th position. Oh, look at the inside tyre. Is Mad Max, but Mad Max did not have any practice in the opening stage of this race and just jumped in the car. We got yellow flags at those as Liam is on the outside because reflections on the medium tyres, the new boots of medium tyres, and through he goes. I was looking at a Williams camera racer, and his home race there has just gone, is kind of going bad to worse here now, isn't it? As he got another, what's going on here then? As, Smithy down into 15th, and Stalls is up into 14th. Or is he? No, he's still alongside then. And look at the gravel going off of that dirty line going offline there for Stars. He's going to look at that. He's on the outside. That's incredible. That's outrageous. That is spectacular from Styles. Both on very similar tyres. Hard tyres for Styles. Medium tyres there for Smithy or Whitey. And Styles hung it on the outside beautifully. Wow, that is magnificent stuff indeed for Styles. And up into 14th position there. Great stuff indeed then. So this is going to get very... Oh my gosh! And Riley almost off the circuit there. Farford giving him a good old squeeze, but Riley's having none of it. Throws caution to the wind. And then to 8th position he goes. Wow, that's incredible stuff. Knowlesy now making his way up into 5th position there. I was going to sing making my way downtown. Was it Knowlesy up into 5th, and is really pressuring the Davidson of Farhad, who's done 13 laps on those medium tyres. That's the most out of anyone on this race circuit at the moment for Farhad, and he's doing a good job, and he's still keeping up with KD. KD has a penalty of 8 laps to go in this race. Camero is in the pits, and what a shame for Camero then, of course. Camero was on the front row of the grid. Both drivers are on the front row of the grid. Have had a horrific day out there. They really have indeed. And I feel that they want to put this race to bed at the end of this one, because it has been a very difficult Grand Prix indeed. And KD currently is not finishing on the podium there. And he is going to lose out to Pot Stuff and to Tori as well. That safety car has really hurt KD, and he has got the oldest hard tyre life out there. But remember what KD did earlier on in this season. Then, of course, he was superb with the keeping those tyres to the very end there for KD. So can he do the same here tonight? Then I've got to say that it's very different circumstances tonight. It is very hot out here in Austria. And, of course, there's a lot of DRS zones around here as well. So KD is going to have to get his elbows up now and a bit of argy-bargy if he wants to keep that third position. And even so, he is going to have to gap the drivers behind by 3 seconds. There is a big old mountain to climb there. Of course, there's a big mountain to get here in the first place. Of course, this is the third highest track on the F1 calendar, which I think is only behind Mexico and Interlagos. I think. If someone could fact check me on that, then that'd be great. Because I must admit, I think about this stuff, and I think that to be honest, I've read it somewhere, and that could be absolute boulder dash. Into the pits comes Camera Racer. That's the first of the 10-second penalty, but Camera Racer in his home Grand Prix is going to be, I think he's going to be quite livid with how this race has transpired. Then Knowles is going to have to get his elbows out as well. Here comes Jinner. Knowles, he's harvesting, and up the inside goes Jinner. Squeezes Knowlesy up into 5th position there, and runs about wide there. And I think that Knowlesy is going to be not too impressed with that, but Jinner needed to get the position, and he does indeed. And up into 3rd position there goes Jinner, and of course a Grand Prix winner in Australia in the opening round of the season. But for Jinner then, because he was getting some more good points tonight then. But again, with having 2 top drivers in Haas with the likes of Pot Stuff and Jinner, it is going to be stuff in the Haas team, and it's returning to the halfway stage. Oh, that car oversteering there quite badly there. Jinner there caught it nicely indeed. But with the 2 Haas drivers there, of course, top drivers out, I think that the Haas team are going to have to think about giving preferential treatment to one of their drivers, of course. And this is a race where you certainly is synonymous for team orders. If you remember the 2002 Austrian Grand Prix and the 2001 Austrian Grand Prix as well, but to a lesser extent. as Cameron's hips might have given up. Shocking stuff indeed, Sarah Splash. How dare you? Coming across the line indeed. To be fair to Cameron Racer, he had a grip. Oh my goodness me! And Jenner now flying it up to fourth position, and Jenner could be on the podium here. That's me talking about team orders in the Haas team, but absolutely Jenner, I think, has took offence to that. He's now into fourth, and he's within 3 seconds of KD. KD has scampered off down the road. Nosey almost into the back of Jenner there. Goodness gracious me. As Nosey can also smell a podium as well. I don't think he's been on the podium since Australia, but I'll have to have a look at my old book for that, because I feel that might be wrong. Oh, gosh. Well, Tori still leads this race, and I gotta say, if you told me an hour ago that Tori was going to be leading this race by 4 seconds on lap 32, I would have said then, I don't know what I would have said. I would have said you must be absolutely out of your mind. But goodness me, Tori has drove a scintillating, and this is Tori's best race of his career by far. He's had some great races, hasn't he, over his career in Grand Prix racing, but today he has stood up in the seat of that car. He is Mark Webber-esque, I think, today. Remember the 2009 German Grand Prix? If you haven't watched it, go back and watch how Mark Webber started second on the grid. Tori did start 15th, of course, but Mark Webber had a penalty. I'm sure he had a drive-through penalty there for being very ruthless on the opening stages of the Grand Prix there. Of course, barged Rubens Barrichello before they got into turn one, which gave him a drive-through penalty, and still, but Mark Webber is absolutely standing up in the seats of that Formula One car. Tonight, that is what Tori's doing. Tori is driving absolutely splendidly well, and I must say, if there's one day where I haven't got my laptop to driver of the day, this is the perfect day, because Tori is certainly head and shoulders driver of the day for me. And hopefully that is not the commentator's curse. Who did I say would be top three? Did you say Tori, Possum and KD? If so, Mushroom, I want the lottery numbers. Having said that, Jinner will get top three at the moment. But then again, KD is once again, KD is showing that he is the master of these tyres, isn't he? Because KD, even on 21 lap old hard tyres, I thought that those tyres would fall off. Similar to George Russell in the 2024 Belgian Grand Prix, where Hamilton was hunting him down with just a handful of laps to go. But like George Russell, KD is keeping those tyres in the operating window. Sarah Smithy Almighty has got past Devo Croc, and now to 7th position there for 11th position for Smithy. He is within the penalty situation of the driver in front of Key. As now who's that then? Is that now Farhad? Farhad then. Very old medium tyres now there. He is starting to fall down the order, isn't he? Unfortunately for Farhad, he has done a great job keeping those medium tyres in the operating window. But my goodness me, I think that today have now fallen off a cliff, whilst Reflections has made his way back up into a 5th position there. As Farhad, I think, has had enough. He's into the pits now. That is a great stint there for Farhad, and he was only 3 laps short of what would have been an absolutely outstanding stint there for Farhad. He's down into 9th position on his debut. Such a shame indeed. Alex for driver of the day says Emerson, I thought it would be cut and dry between for Tori then. So yes, Alex could be driver of the day as well. Goodness gracious me. So get your driver of the day comments in there, and then of course we'll tally them up and we'll put it on the all-time record book there, because it's all very important. No problem. I said Tori, Alex and Jinner. Oh. And Nosey could be on the podium as well, actually, because look, they're now homing in once again then on KD, as KD's tyres, I reckon, have now gone past the point of no return. They called it the cliff, didn't they, when Pirelli first came in 2011 and 2012. Of course, I remember Mark Webber's race engineer was it Karen Pilby in 2012, because he did swap, didn't he, to Simon Rennie in 2013, I think it was, because then Simon Rennie was Daniel Ricciardo's engineer. So I think it was Karen Pilby, wasn't it? Of course, he went to Alpine or Renault back then, or Lotus they were. Actually, was they? Goodness gracious me. Team Enstone, we'll go with that. Team Enstone there. Karen Pilby, of course, as he was used to say to Mark Webber, as they will fall off the cliff. and they certainly could fall off the cliff here tonight. As a camera, what is this? And ruined my race there. What a crap game! I absolutely hate it. What did Vassir do to cause a safety car? I do not know, sadly. Of course, I haven't seen anything in the chat. But then again, I don't think my Discord notification will probably work because it's probably been going to sleep there. Reflections all over the back of Nosey as they're all concertining up down the second to last lap of this Austrian Grand Prix. If they start fighting, this is, oh my word, there is a Nosey slamming the door shut on Reflections there. And Nosey is like, you're not getting through there. No way, Pedro. And my word there, of course, I think they got overtaken on the outside out of turn 5 and into 6, and I think it's a bold manoeuvre to say the least. Well, those last 5 laps were absolutely flown by, goodness gracious me. As Jenner's got a 3-second penalty, that's going to cost him, and that is going to propel Nosey into the podium places, goodness gracious me. And well then, so Nosey and Tory for driver of the day, I think Kiki's got another penalty, and that's going to propel Smithy to ninth position. Devo Croc, I think it's just too far behind at the moment. But then again, here comes Reflection as well then. So Nosey needs to keep it clean to get on the podium in this one. As Reflection's going to have a lunge, is it? Not quite then. As we go into the hairpin then. Out of the hairpin as well. And Tory is almost home and dry on this. Is going to be his first Grand Prix win of his career in ALR Silver in the superb style indeed then for Tory from 15th on the grid. Jenner's gone off. Nosey's through. Jenner's gone off, and now through goes Reflections as well. Can KD keep himself in front? Then I don't think he can. This is the last corner, and Tory for Alpine wins brilliantly. His first Grand Prix win of his career in ALR Formula 1 Grand Prix racing of silver. I need to stress that. Tory's first Grand Prix win of his career, and takes his tally to 225 points in his career tally as well. And what a drive from Tory from 15th on the grid to win the race there. He was unstoppable today. It was a stupendous performance indeed there. We got a problem for one of their Haas cars, I think, that as Jenner, who I think is going to be very frustrated, that does not score any points, and that's probably because he ran out, probably because he had too many penalties, unfortunately, in the end there. Tory wins his first race of his career in silver, with Potstuff coming home in second. Third position for Nosey, and for the first time in about 3 races, KD is off the podium as well. Tory's first Grand Prix win of his career in ALR Silver from 15th on the grid. Driver of the day for me, but of course Nosey is also going to be in that driver of the day as well, along with Potstuff and a few others as well. And so get your driver of the day comments in the section. That would be great stuff indeed. And apparently it is snowing on Wednesday evening. Fantastic stuff indeed. Right, let's take a final look at the classification then from the Austrian Grand Prix. Race winner Tory. Fast up starts and driver of the day Mad Max. Farf with the most overtakes, and cleanest driver was Farhad. Absolutely no disagreement with that. Tory, his first Grand Prix win of his career. Potstuff finishes second today. Then what a drive from 6th to 2nd there. Tory from 15th to 1st. Nosey from 11th to 3rd. KD finished 4th in the end. That safety car really hurt him. Mad Max, great drive from 20th to 5th. Actually, Mad Max, just like Tory, superb stuff indeed. Reflections out. Safety car also hamstrung him as well. Down in 6th position. 7th position, Riley. 8th is Smith. Kiki in 9th. Dynamite Down completes the top 10. Devo Croc just outside 11th position. Farhad in 12th. Jenner in 13th. Real Fig in 14th. Stars gets fast lap in 15th position. Farf in 16th. Liam in 17th. Venom in 18th position there. 2 retirements. A Camera Racer and Vessi retired from this absolutely epic Austrian Grand Prix. 2 for 2 in terms of fantastic Austrian Grand Prix. Then are we going to make it 3 for 3 tomorrow in bronze? Then there's only one way to find out, and that is by joining us tomorrow. GG, all congratulations, Tory. Absolutely superb stuff indeed. There, I'm just taking a look to see if there's any comments there about what happened to Vessia, because I'm intrigued about that, because that was a very odd place to crash. I'm wondering if he just took too much speed into the final turn and then just had a whippersnapper and went straight into the barrier. Well, we'll find out Well, we'll find out probably later on in this one then, potentially. But let's. Anyway, nonetheless, right. I don't think I can't see anything at the moment, and so we'll keep an eye on that on the older social medias and all that kind of stuff. But Alex, this is your second podium of the season, I believe, Ben. After a great race in Australia, so I think that's not a shabby return then. I was saying about Tori getting driver of the day today, but you're a close second day. A brilliant drive up to third.
Yeah, it was all right. Bit of a shame about the race overall, from my point of view. Like I said, would have been better. But started off absolute crap as usual. Blocked in quality a couple of times, and then the rain came down, so I couldn't improve. And then, yeah, the race was a bit of a mess anyway, in general. But yeah, credit to Tory for the fantastic win, and I think he should get driver of the day, and of course to pot stuff P2 as well.
Could you elaborate on the race being a bit of a mess? Is that from your team's point of view? Is that from the Aston Martin just not executing the strategy well with the safety car coming out? Or was there other factors in play for you today?
Yeah, the strategy wasn't well. It was going to work. Safety car, of course, as usual, plays havoc, but that's all you've got to deal with, haven't you? Part of the game, part of racing, I suppose, isn't it? I got the undercut pitting early after 8 laps on the mediums, and I was out ahead of Kamara Racer. So, based on that, I was looking to be in the podium places anyway, and do a two-stop strategy. Yeah, interesting race in the end there. It was getting a bit heated in places. I want to apologise to Reflection because I started shouting at him in the party chat in that last couple of laps when he went down the inside of me almost into turn 4, and I saw the red arrows and started panicking. But no, fair play indeed, and unlucky as well to Jenner. I think he had a couple of spins or issues at the top of the hill as well, as did KD as well. But no, credit to everybody else who got to the finish line and put on a good race.
And you mentioned about it getting heated, actually. On the final couple of laps there, between yourself and between Jenner, KD was just very much in sight as well. Was you getting heat because you could see that KD had a penalty? You didn't have a penalty. You've had a clean race there, and it was all getting argy-bargy. Then was that where the pressure was coming from? That podium was slipping away in the final couple of laps.
I thought it was at the time when Jenner didn't have a penalty in the last, well, before the last couple of laps or so. KD had much older tire. Well, I think 4 or 5 lap older tires actually. So I was pretty confident because again I was still in Jenner's DRS, so I was going to be able to bring that gap down over the last couple of laps, just using the rear wing basically. So I was pretty confident that we'd catch up, or at least be within 3 seconds of KD. But then, yeah, Reflection came out of nowhere as well. But he had the penalty, so he did back off. And like I said, I apologised to him for almost screaming when I saw those red arrows. I was like, "Holy hell, what's going on there?" But yeah, fair play indeed as well for Reflection, because again, the safety car ruined his strategy as well, and he didn't have a set of hards to go on to for the second stint after the safety car as well. So well played.
And you mentioned about qualifying and getting blocked. Then, do you feel that if you was in the top 10, you potentially could have been getting your first Grand Prix win a silver today? Then, do you feel that a better grid position would have got you up there, challenging with pot stuff in Tory today?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, I think I was on target to do a 4-0, which would have put me, I think, P4, based on the first session, basically now. But yeah, so I think I would have been second, maybe third row or something like that. So yeah, it's yeah, it would have been interesting. But yeah, we can't tell now, so we move on.
Absolutely. F1 spells backwards as if, as Murray Walker said. Well done today, Nosy. Your second podium of your season. Superb stuff indeed. And now now we're going to end the stream then. But before we do, tomorrow night it is a third time here in Austria where R2B leads the championship by 8 points from Jay Hings in second. There's a mammoth gap developing now between Jay Hings and Marsky in third position. Marsky had an absolute howler last week. Can he get himself back in the saddle? Tom Huffy also looking pretty supreme as well in qualifying anyway. But can he get those results in the race race there with the two Alpines, fourth and fifth position. You'll be crazy to miss Austria tomorrow night, and I do expect a bit of rain in the race there. I'm doing a rain dance. I do love a bit of wet weather stuff. That'll be fantastic. I'll see you next Monday for the next race, which is somewhere on the F1 calendar, which I have not seen. Oh, it's the British Grand Prix, the home of motorsport. I'll see you on Monday, but we'll see you tomorrow night for Austria and Bronze. Goodbye.